Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Ordinary Boy Boxing channel. In today's video I'm going to be giving you my review of the heavyweight fight that happened just last night for me, so it was the 26th of November 2022 between Dillian Whyte and Jermaine Franklin. The fight went down at Wembley Arena. Dillian Whyte, going into the fight, had a record of 28-3. His last three opponents was Tyson Fury, who he lost to. He got TKO'd in round 6. Before that, he fought Povetkin twice. The first time he got knocked out in round 5. He then had a rematch with him and he beat him in round 4 by TKO. He was facing the unbeaten American Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin was going into the fight 21-0 with 14 KOs. Jermaine Franklin's last 3 opponents, he beat Rodney Moore by TKO in round 5. He beat Pavel Sauer before that by unanimous decision, and before that he won a split decision against someone called Jerry Forrest. So going into the fight, I felt that I did a quick pick, and I felt that Dillian Whyte, if he was still looking good, still in good form, from what I'd seen of both men, he should kind of knock out Franklin within the first 4 rounds of the fight, and that was my quick pick. I did note that Jermaine Franklin being 7-1 at the time of me doing that video was very kind of long odds, and it was definitely worth a bet, depending on how Whyte and Franklin looked building up to the fight. Going into the fight, Whyte was quite tetchy, but he can. That's happened before with fights. You know, it's nothing out of the ordinary. But there was a lot of there's arguments about kind of the gloves, for example. But nothing overly out of the ordinary for Dillian Whyte. Which there was an argument, So there was an argument about the gloves. There was a bit of pushing at the weigh-in, I think it was, or the face-off. But it's normal business for a Dillian Whyte fight. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I did note in my quick pick Jermaine Franklin's weight fluctuation. He came in heavier than his last fight, I think he did, but it was nothing. It wasn't as heavy as he has been. So to me, there was no cause for concern there. He put a little bit of weight on, probably going for power, but there was nothing there that kind of concerned me. Thought that this would be a complete whitewash, and Jermaine Franklin had come in completely out of shape, because I didn't think he had. So yeah, we'll get into the fight. Round 1 started at the Wembley Arena. There was good quick jab from Franklin. His speed really impressed me throughout this fight, and especially in this first round. Whyte was getting caught a good bit coming in. I gave this round 1 a 10-9 to Jermaine Franklin. Into round 2, cleverer boxing. There we go. Got that Sunday feeling. Cleverer boxing from Whyte in this round. Impressive body shots from him as well. I was really impressed with Franklin's speed again, and his jab was really good. He was really working well. He was really working well to the body. They both were actually in this round. I did give this round to Dillian Whyte for the better work to the body. So round 2's a 10-9 to Dillian Whyte. Into round 3, a few low shots here from Whyte as he was going to the body. I don't know if they were intentional. To me, they looked unintentional. He was just trying to go for the body. It really was a battle of the body shots in round 3 from both men. Whyte seems to have developed a new kind of cross-body style of defence, I've noticed, which actually I've not seen that much, especially in the heavyweight division. Obviously with his new trainer, that's something they've done to kind of avoid the uppercut that's kind of plagued Dillian Whyte. This was better from Whyte in round 3. He was judging the distance better, so I gave this a 10-9 in round 3 to Dillian Whyte. On to round 4, nice uppercut from Whyte in this round. Franklin looked like he could gas himself out with his output. His output was really impressive, but I did worry that he was going to gas himself out with the amount of punches he was throwing. Close round for me in round 4. I did edge it to Whyte for the more effective punches. So round 4 I gave to Dillian Whyte, 10-9. On to round 5, I felt Franklin was really doing himself proud in this fight. But in round 5, the harder punches were coming from Whyte. Again, I wrote here, I felt in round 5 again that Franklin would really struggle to keep up the output and the pace that he was putting on. So in round 5, it's a Dillian Whyte round, so 10-9. Onto round 6, I noticed that Whyte didn't seem phased by Franklin's punches in this round. He just kept coming forward, and it almost felt like Whyte was on a sparring session. But I did give this round to Franklin in round 6. Franklin seems to have got a second wind. He looked like he was maybe gassing in round 4 and 5, but he seems to have caught his breath a bit here and has got a second wind. He really was giving it his all. Neither men were giving each other any distance. It was definitely a fight in a phone box, as they say. But yeah, for the output and the activity in round 6, I did give this to Jermaine Franklin. So in round 6, that's a 10-9 to Jermaine Franklin. On to round 7, Whyte was looking a bit ponderous now. Franklin with the snappier and quicker combos. It was a slugfest at round 7 for me. I really struggled to score this one. And for the first time ever doing a fight review, and I try not to do this. It did make me laugh because David Hayes was scoring along and he'd give about 4 rounds even. But I really try not to do this, but I can't give it either way. So in round 7, I'm giving it a 10-10 to both men. So an even round in round 7. On to round 8, Whyte was not doing much till the last part of the round. He really wasn't. I gave this to Franklin purely because although Whyte was really impressive in the last minute of the round, the first 2 minutes of the round were pretty much all Franklin. It was mostly him working, so round 8 is a 10-9 to Jermaine Franklin. On to round 9, both men now looking a little bit fatigued. Whyte was really hurt at the end of this round, and the ending of round 9 when he got hurt turned a close round into a Franklin round for me. So round 9 was a 10-9 round to Jermaine Franklin. On to round 10, Whyte just not being active enough for me really. He does land a cracking right hand at the end of the round. Close again. But for that one punch, I can't give the round to Whyte for it. So again, the activity from Franklin and Whyte not being active enough, I give round 10 a 10-9 to Jermaine Franklin. On to the final 2 rounds. Round 11, Franklin was outworking Whyte for me. Could have went either way this round 11, but I did give it to Whyte purely based on the more eye-catching punches in round 11. So that's a 10-9 to Dillian Whyte in round 11. And on to the 12th and final round, both very fatigued in this round. Franklin nearly KO'd right at the end. Could have given it to either man. Again, as with a lot of these rounds. But at the end of the round, Whyte with a cracking shot that nearly floored Jermaine Franklin. So I've got to give round 12 to Dillian Whyte. So round 12's a 10-9 to Dillian Whyte. So yeah, that was the fight. I gave the fight 115, 114 to Dillian Whyte. One judge had it 115, 115 a draw, and the 2 other judges had it 116, 112 to Dillian Whyte. So with those scores, I mean, I had Whyte by a round. I could see it being a draw. I could see Jermaine Franklin winning slightly. 116, 112 seems a little bit wide for me. But what I will say is this was a fight that, because it was so scrappy and it was such a slugfest, I can see how people would have given a few rounds either way. So I can see disparity either way. Jermaine Franklin really did himself proud in this fight. This was a fight made by Eddie Hearn to make Dillian Whyte look good and give him a good knockout. Jermaine Franklin really pushed this to the wire and he gave a career best performance from the other performances I've seen. Whyte didn't look fantastic, but I don't know if that's because of Dillian Whyte on the slide or because of how good Jermaine Franklin was. However, I struggle to see Dillian Whyte now winning at top level, to be absolutely honest, based on this fight and the Fury fight. It was a real slugfest throughout the whole fight. Neither man was giving the other one much room at all. It was, like I said, like fighting in a phone box. Franklin, yeah, career best performance from Franklin. Fantastic speed, a fantastic jab he's got now that I hadn't noticed until now. And his gas tank was brilliant. And his chin was really good. I think that was underestimated by a lot of people, including Dillian Whyte, how well he took the punches, because he did take them well. Plus, Franklin had not gone 12 rounds before until tonight. So to make this a competitive fight, to get all the way through the distance, he should be really proud of himself. I do hope he gets another shot at a world level fighter, because I will watch that and I'll review it, because I was really impressed with him, and he seemed like a nice guy. At the end, he said it was a robbery. You know, he is going to feel like that. You're going into another man's country, you're the underdog, you're a massive underdog, and you've made it a close fight, and you don't get the nod. I can understand why he will feel like that's a robbery. He's on about a rematch. I can't see that rematch happening, to be honest. Whyte is now destined for Joshua next year, I think. So that was my overall thoughts on the fight. Yeah, I don't... If Whyte and Joshua are next, I think we get the same kind of fight that we got with Whyte and Joshua before. I think Whyte has a few good moments but gets knocked out, to be honest. But anyway, so that was my review of Whyte versus Franklin. How did you score the fight? I've seen a lot of different opinions. I've heard people say it's a robbery. I've heard people saying it was a draw. I've heard people saying it was a fair decision. So let me know in the comments below how you scored it, or how you saw the fight, and where do you see either man going next. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and please, if you do get the chance, I do a lot of these kind of videos, so give us a subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, and I shall see you in the next video.